I'm back to Tell the Truth channel. Please hit subscribe, share my content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and what other content that y'all go on. I appreciate that very much. I am in Jesus and Jesus is in me. Okay, now my daddy gave me something for y'all parents to please listen to what I got to talk about. Now, this is about your teenagers and also your children's that is 10, 11, and 12 and 13 years old. So, when they get to 13, them teenagers. So, you know what I mean. Okay, so look, this got something to do with boys too, from 10 to 11, 12, 13, all the way up to 21. Okay, these are about your kids, your teenagers, and your adults that's getting up to be big adults. Okay, so look, go back to the days when we was coming up, when we was like 10, 11, 12, 13, all the way up to 21. Okay, now back in our days, it was not that bad than it is now in these days. So parents and single parents that's raising up their kids, y'all need to know, mothers and fathers that's single, mothers and fathers that's married, y'all need to know. Talk to your children about the things that y'all used to do when y'all was that age. Back in our days, it was not that bad when we used to kick it with our friends, run into other people that we meet, and we used to run into people and they honk at us, and we would get in their cars, you know. Some people that we didn't know, how back in the days how people used to how they call it, throw their thumb up down the street, want somebody to pick them up in the car and all that stuff. Back in them days, that's what we used to do. And we used to jump in the car with total strangers. Yes, we did. So this is what I'm saying to y'all, is to tell your children what we used to do back in the days, and we was lucky. You know why we was lucky? Because we had Jesus, Father, and the Holy Ghost watching over us through and through at them times that we was doing what we was doing. We was so much blessed, because it could have been many times that we could have came up missing. Yes. From jumping in cars with people that we did not know. We did not know. I'm going to put it like this. We did not know what we was doing. We didn't. So we thought we was doing something right, which we was not doing right. And back in our days, back in our parents' days, they days was different than our days. They never talked to us about the things that they had experienced, and about cars and all that. No, they just used to tell us about the things, how they used to dance and sing, and the schools that they went to, the stuff they used to tell us back then. But in our days was different. Back in our days, we had beepers. We didn't have cell phones back then. We had beepers. Yes. So if we wanted to get in touch with anybody, all we had to do is get their number and beep them, and they would beep us back. And then we go to the house and call them. That's what we used to do back in our days. So what I'm saying about that you need to let your children know the things that we used to do back in our days, so they would not do the things that we used to do, because back in our days was not that bad. It was bad, but it was not that bad than it is now. You need to let your children know, your teenagers and your adult teenagers that they don't need to be jumping in the car with any man that they see that look good to them, and the man holler at them and start talking to them, and next thing you know, you don't see your child no more. It's a whole different story now. That's what y'all got to think about. Even though they have cars, they don't need to be picking up no strangers in their cars either. Because like I say, back in the days is different. Our days was different than it is now. Today, in these days, are really stranger dangers are really out here looking for teenagers and adults. Like your children's up to like 21. They're looking for them. Yes. So you need to talk to your children and tell them about the things that y'all used to do. So y'all don't want y'all kids to do the same thing that we used to do. And we was very blessed back in our days when we did what we did, because we need not know what we was doing back in our day. We was living foul back in our days. We was doing things that we didn't even know we was did not supposed to do, but we was doing it. That's why it's good to tell your children so they won't be living foul. Let them know that things these days are way different than when we was coming up. Way different. They just can't just get in the car with anybody all willy-nilly. They can't do that no more. No, they can't. Because these days, these people is just going around looking for anybody that they can avow that's your children's in the age to bow them. That's what they're looking for. They trying to find any kind of way to survive. Because times are getting hard for these demons, and they are looking to bow your children's. Because back in our days, we didn't know the difference between good and bad. We thought bad was good too. We really did. We didn't know that back in our days with arguing and all of that stuff that was bad, that God didn't appreciate us arguing like that. We didn't know that we was opening up the door and letting demons walk straight in. We didn't know that. We thought that arguing was okay to argue, but we didn't know that we was opening up for to let demons in. We didn't know that. But now we do. And now y'all need to tell y'all children that arguing is not good. If you have an argue, you don't argue, you have a discussion. Don't argue, have a discussion. Sit down and talk about it. You don't have to argue with the people, with the person that you with. Just have a discussion. If it turn into an argument, calm down, walk away, and give each other a break. Then after you give each other a break, then come back to each other and talk about it. That's what you do. Don't be scared to talk to your partner. Call your partner and talk to your partner. That's what you do. If you think things is not going right and you need to vent to your partner. Do not go out there asking other people about your partner situation, because other people do not know your partner situation. Only your partner know their situation. So it's better to pick up a phone and call your partner and talk to them if you want to know anything. Don't be scared to ask your partner, because your partner either can tell you the truth or don't tell you the truth. Your partner either gonna listen to you or don't listen to you. It's a chance you have to take. And you need to tell your children that when they start dating, and your older children, that too, that when they go through stuff, to sit down and talk to the partner that they with. and be careful who they get in the car with. Just don't let just don't let anybody in their car, and just don't get in the car with anybody. And you know what? You got to look at this too. You got to look at that. Be careful in letting people that you grow up with, because you got to look at this. You got to look at this. People that you grow up with change. They are not the same that you knew back in the day. People change. They do not be the same people. So if you tell your child, well, I kicked it with this person, I kicked it with that person, and then next thing you know, your child meet this person, but you really don't know how this person is because you just got back in contact with that person. So you really don't know about that person. Then all of a sudden, you getting your children's close to this person, and you really don't know who this person is. And next thing you know, your child out there walking the streets or whatever, kicking it or whatever, or being with her friends or his friends, and then all of a sudden, somebody that you know roll up on them and then say, you remember me? I'm your mama friend. I'm your daddy friend. You want me to drop you off? And they jump in the car, and next thing you know, they done raped your child, or they done took your child somewhere, and you can't find them. That's what y'all got to look at. Everybody that we grow up with is not the same people. People change. They are not the same. They may look the same, and sometimes when you look at them, they don't even look the same. So you got to look at that too. So you need to tell your children, you don't care who you growed up with, do not get in the car with them, because they don't know these people. You don't even know them. After you done growed up, you don't know these people no more. So you have to tell your children, do not get in a car with somebody that you growed up with, that you don't even know nothing about, and you haven't seen in years. That's what you need to tell your children, because they would do that because you know the person. So you just tell them no. I don't care who it is. You tell them no. I would talk to you later. I tell my parents you said hi. That's what you tell your kids to say. I would tell my parents you said hi and that you would call them. That's it. And then make sure you tell your kids to walk away. Because you do not know. Your kids do not know this person. Just because you know them don't mean that they know them. And you don't even know them. And that goes for boys and girls, because boys, they get gang raped and girls get gang raped too. It goes both ways. You just cannot leave out boys. Things are happening to them as well as it's happening to girls. So make sure you tell your children the things that we went through. They need to know. Keep them up to date. Do not keep your children in the dark. When you have your family meetings with your children, talk about everything. Don't leave nothing out. So when your kids go out there in the world, they will know what to look out for when they walk out there in that world. Their mind will be prepared for what they got to go through when they go out there. So make sure that y'all talk to y'all children and keep them up to date. Because like I said, back in our days, we had beepers, not sailors, beepers. Now y'all children have sailors. And they just can't give their phone number to whoever all willy-nilly. Talk to them. They just can't give their phone numbers to anybody all willy-nilly. Talk to your teenagers and your adults that's in their 20s and in their 20s and 21s. Talk to them. They need to know. Just because they think they grown, they are not grown. They still don't know everything. Even though they think they do, they don't. So sit down and talk to your children and let them know. So this is what I want to talk to y'all about. Y'all have a good day and a blessed day. Jesus love you, Father love you, the Holy Ghost love you, the angels, the ancestors, everybody love y'all, and I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me, and I will talk to y'all soon.